Hello everyone, and peace of Christ all of you. Please invite your friends. And today we are going to explore more of the true stories which happened a long time ago, where Allah, He sent His prophets to drink from the fountain of youth. And by the way, my grandfather, he drank from it, and now he is 1 day old. The fountain of youth is a true story, in case you think it's not. Actually, we have a clear evidence of it. All of you watch The Pirate of the Caribbean. How Jack Sparrow, he go and a bunch of gang looking for the fountain of youth. And how even the evil British government were trying hard to make him find them, or find the fountain for them. I will not be surprised if Trump is behind this, or CIA. Those true stories, all of them, they are documented and nobody can deny them. We have a movie about them, and the reason they are in the movie because they are true. Now, in the story of Jack Sparrow, they did not tell you all the truth, because all the truth is coming from the book of Allah. Allah knows best, as you remember. Always remember that. But put that between your eyebrows if you have any. So this fountain of youth, which is so good, and all of us, we wish to drink from it. Maybe one day, alhamdulillah. We will go there and we will drink from the fountain of youth. And by the way, if you are a man, keep dreaming to reach that point, because you will find like the tens of billions of women before you. Good luck. And if you try to go through, the nails are ready. You know, so like instead of living forever, you will die forever before you reach the fountain of youth. The only way to get there, I think, if you like dress like a woman, and I think now this is why Muhammad used to dress like a woman. So now let us go and examine the fountain of youth, and where this fountain of youth is exist in the Islamic mythology, or Muhammad fiction stories. See, always when we show Muslims things, they will say to you, well, he's lying, he's lying, he's lying. You know, this is the answer for anything. If you show them a hadith, he says, this is a weak hadith, weak hadith, weak hadith. Anything is embarrassment. Is in a speed of light, it's a weak. And by the way, weak is accepted in Islam. It's not real. This is why actually it's written in the book, because it is accepted. Otherwise, they would dump it in the garbage. You will not put it in the book. So in front of us, this is a website. It's called At-Tafasir Al-Azima, which means the great tafsir, which means this website does not have interpretation for the Quran, which is not the greatest, only the greatest. And here we have, this is the tafsir written by Al-Imam As-Suyuti, and he is one of the biggest. Actually, I believe that this is Suyuti. He was really a genius. And I'm serious here. You know, forget about his belief in Islam, but obviously he his brain have a special capability of putting things together. But by his help, we are going to see how Islam is so stupid. This guy actually himself, he have a long list of missing verses in the Quran, and the Muslims, they go crazy when they see it, and nobody can really debate him about it. He show you with evidence, with reference, how many chapters missing, not only verses. I mean, the whole chapter almost is 18, is gone. So here we have Tafsir As-Suyuti, and now we have the chapter of the cave, 18, and we have verse number 83. But before we read this interpretation, let us see what the Muslims, they say in their videos about the story.
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions the story of Zul-qarnain. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَيَسْأَلُونَكَ عَنْ ذِي الْقَرْنَيْنِ. We gave him power in this world. and we allowed him a path everywhere. And he went to the easternmost, he went to the westernmost. There are stories mentioned in the Quran about Zul-qarnain. He was a just king. He thanked Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He found people of all different types and persuasions. And then the final one that is mentioned, the final group of people, حَتَّى إِذَا بَلَغَ بَيْنَ السَّدَّيْنِ, when he came to essentially a valley. There's two mountain slopes coming here. وَجَدَ مِن دُونِهِمَا قَوْمًا, he found a group of people. لَا يَكَادُونَ يَفْقَهُونَ قَوْلًا, they did not understand Zul-qarnain. Zul-qarnain did not understand them. In other words, this was a civilization that had no middle ground. In the good old days, once upon a time, before Google Translate, how did people translate from one another? There were people, intermediaries, who had traveled to both lands. Inevitably you would find somebody who spoke Latin and Arabic, who spoke, this language and that language. You would find somebody. Zul-qarnain went to such a faraway land that the language of those people and the language of Zul-qarnain had no middle ground. So Allah is mentioning this is a far-flung civilization.
And here you see how the stupid story started. So those people didn't understand the language, and he have no translator for them. And then a second after, we will see that they are talking to each other. I don't know how many of you heard me saying stupidity is amazing. This is something you never heard before, right? Always stupidity is amazing. Amuse me, let us say. He just explained to you that this language nobody understand, and no ground for it, and no translator, correct? Well, then how this guy, they came and they spoke to him? How the Quran mentioned that nobody can understand what they are saying, and he cannot understand what he's saying, and they cannot understand what he's saying. And then it says here, until he reached between the two mountains, he found before them, this is a stupid translation, a people who, they understand the word, they can understand the word, okay? And then they said, Zul-qarnain, verily Ya'juj and Look, a second ago you said you didn't understand the word. A second after they said, do you see the stupidity of this cult? We just heard the sheikh, I don't know, this is Mufti Menk, I don't know who is he. We just heard him saying nobody can, every nation have a translator. Those people, there's no translator because nobody knows their language. So nobody knows their language. They do not know the language of Zul-qarnain. Zul-qarnain do not know their language. And then they said, and then he said, what happened? And he said, and the sheikh, he said at that time there's no Google translator. I'm so glad he acknowledged that, because they might say that Google created by Allah. Here right away you see how the stupidity of this cult is a jumping machine. I mean, don't even they notice what they just said? He cannot understand the word and they cannot understand the word. And then after a second, they said to him, and not only they said to him, they explain things which is complicated, like those people, Gog and Magog, they are doing mischievement in the earth. Shall we render this tribute in order, etc., blah, 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 blah. And can you make a dam between us? A second ago, they were a bunch of ignorant, nobody even have their language. And now we are talking about building a dam. And then he said, okay, Abdul, whatever Allah He gave me, I will do my best, brother and sisters. Okay, let us build a dam between them. And then things can be more technical. They do not understand him, he don't understand them. And then he said, bring me a block of iron. How in the world they knew that he want a block of iron if he don't understand the word? But anyway, this is not really our topic. I just wanted to show you that when Yasir Qadhi, he says, the standard narrative has holes, I say to Yasir Qadhi, it's not only the standard narrative has holes. All of you are full of holes. Your Quran is a book of holes. And how in the world Alexander the Great become a Muslim? In fact, the guy is a bisexual. I mean, this Muhammad, he made anyone he is famous a Muslim. If Muhammad was exist at that time, trust me, he will make Trump a Muslim. Anyone coming his way, I mean, Alexander the Great is a Muslim. All the books of history confirm that this guy, he sleep with everybody. He sleep with men, he sleep with women. But he's famous. And there is a person from Syria, he wrote a book, and this book is about a man who wear a helmet, have two horns. And this is why you see the Quran saying, the person with a two horn. I mean, have you ever heard, even, this is a God, he's telling us about a person who he sent, yet his name is the guy with the two horn. Why? He's a cow? Do even Allah knew the name of this person? So now today, we are, we spoke before, if you remember, about the stories of Moses and the fountain of youth. If you remember, Moses, he made a speech in front of his people, and he says, oh, children of Israel. And the funny, by the way, they say Israel is not, there's nothing is called Israel. This is Palestine. But the stupid Quran keep calling them children of Israel. Obviously, the children of Israel, they are Indian from America. I mean, even your stupid book keep calling them the children of Israel. So Moses, he made a sermon, and he spoke to the children of Israel, and he told them, I am the most, he asked them, who is the most learned person among the people? Someone's asking Moses. Moses says, I am me. Come on. Me. Then Allah, he said to him, you stupid Moses, it's not you. Moses, he said, like, what? Not me? So Allah, he admonished Moses, and he told him not to ascribe all the knowledge, not ascribe to all the knowledge to Allah only. Then came to the divine inspiration. He says, yes, one of our slaves in the junction of the two seas is more learned than you. And here, by the way, translation of the junctions of the two seas is Al-Bahrain. Bahrain, the country is called Bahrain? This is where it is. The funny, if you go and see where the Bahrain is, you will see that Bahrain is connected to the Mediterranean, which is very funny. So there is a person who lives in the conjunction of the two seas, and that is Al-Bahrain, in Bahrain. And then Moses, he told to him, okay, how I can find this guy so I can learn from him, how I can meet him. Allah said to him, take a wheel, not a fish. Take a wheel in a basket, and whenever the fish is lost, follow it. Look, what the heck? Follow it. How you can follow a fish, a dead fish? She's dead in the basket. Big whale. By the way, at that time, I mean, you remember we showed you the story in the previous video, how there's a guy, he was 3,000 arms tall, and how he hold, he walk in the sea, he don't swim because he's so big. He walk in the sea, and the sea does not even go to his knee. And then he hold the wheel, and he put his hand up in the sky, and he do the barbecue to the whale by the sun, because he's so high, he's so close to the sun, brother. So Allah told him, take a whale with you, put it in the basket, and then when you lose the whale, follow it, and you will find that place. So Moses, he set out along, and he went with his attendant, Yeshua bin Nun. And here the funny part of the story. Bin in Arab, in the language in Arabic, it's coming from the Aramaic actually, means son. Nun is a whale. I mean, look, even the servant, his name, Yeshua, son of the whale. Look at this, brother. I mean, obviously, there's no fabrication in the story. So Moses now, he have to take a whale with him, and then he choose a servant, and his servant, later, by the way, he became a prophet, but this is a different story. His name is Yeshua bin Nun, the son of the whale. Unbelievable, alhamdulillah. And then they carried with him the fish, which is the whale, until they reached the rock and rested there. Until they reached the rock. I mean, is that how simple? You go all the way from Israel, all the way to Bahrain, and then you find a rock. There's only one rock in the way. Let me open the map. You see, I said to myself, I'm not going to stay long, but I don't know how to do that. Sorry. I will start making videos just without going live, by the way, so to force myself not to stay long. Because as long there is, you know, more ideas will come and things is endless. All right, so let us open the map of Prophet Google, peace be upon him. So this is the country we are talking about. It's a little island in the Persian Sea, which the Arab today, they are fighting to correct the Arab Sea, but all of us, we knew that this is the Persian Sea. They love to hijack anything. So supposedly Moses, he went all the way from Jerusalem, or from Israel, wherever he was, and then all the way to Bahrain, brother. And then they found a rock. I mean, the story makes sense. I mean, think about it, think about it. Okay, this is Israel, brother. And now, Moshe, how are you, Moshe? Are you doing good, Moshe? Okay. So Moshe now is going to take a route from Israel, brother, and he will keep going from here. And now he found a rock, which means the thousands of miles in the way, there was no rocks at all. I think it was a highway. Like Moshe kept driving his feet, you know, driving, and then until he arrived to the rock. How simple is that, man? There's only one rock in the way. Very simple. I mean, true story. You see, if I am the one who made a book and I am saying I did this, how many Muslims will laugh at me and they will say Christian Prince is mentally ill? But as long their prophet is the one who said that, brother, it's true story. So he keep going until he find a rock, because there's no rocks at that time. No rocks. The earth was rocks free, you know. Rocks happen after, when my grandparents, the Arab, they start throwing rocks at each other. Like, we are the one who created the rocks. We are the Arab, you know, brother. Yeah. Before us, there are Jews. Jews don't throw rocks. Actually, yeah, there is Jews that throw rocks too. You know, the story of David, he threw a rocks, isn't it? Yeah. But maybe that was simple rock, like one rock exists in Israel, but there's no rocks. So Moshe, brother, he keep going until he found the rock, bingo. But, hey, Abdul, how Moshe, he keep walking? Did he walk in the sea or something? I mean, you see now they build a bridge. This is a newly built bridge between Bahrain and Saudi Arabia, if you see it here. But this bridge was not exist. So how Moshe was able to walk all the way to the island of Al-Bahrain? Like what? Okay, you know what? Let it go. Don't, you know, I mean, come on. Don't focus on the details. As they say, in the details is the devil. So Moshe, he went all the way to Bahrain. How he went, Allahu A'lam. How he did it, Allahu A'lam. Allah knows best. How he crossed the sea, Allahu A'lam. Especially they are walking, you know, as the story says. Until they arrive a rock. Let me see if I can find a rock here. If there's any rock. I need to open Google, or, you know, Google Earth. Okay, hold on. Let's do a satellite thing. Oh, here we go. There's a rock here. Is that a rock? No, there's no rocks. Like, what the heck? They hide it, the kuffar. I bet you the American, they are behind hiding the rock. I cannot see the rock. Where is the rock? I see Walmart. What is the rock? Keep looking. I mean, I have a satellite and I cannot find the rock, which Moses he found so easy. But I think, you know, I think Moses, he was using a drone or something, you know, like Those drone, you buy them from Amazon.mum. There's a rock here. No. Why is no rocks? Where is the big rock? I give up. Okay, you guys, you'll find the rock, okay? Take your time. So anyway, so he keep walking, until he found the rock, and then next to the rock, he did what? Let us see what he did. Okay, until they reached the rock, and they rested there. Musa's, I mean, look, by the way, like, it's not like they reach a rock, it's big, brown, look different. No. Until they reach the rock, it's the rock. It's known. I mean, come on, everybody know that rock. I mean, like, come on. Like you say to somebody, where are you going? I say, I'm going to Bahrain. Okay, I meet you in the rock. Oh, sure, I will meet you in the rock too. There's only one rock in the world, man. So easy. Anyway, so until they reach the rock, Moses put his head down and slept. Look at this idiot. Why you put your head down and you sleep? Can't you put your head up and sleep? Shame on you, Moshe. He's doing maybe a trick or something. Okay, he put his head down. Sufyan, the sub-narrator, he's a sub-narrator. I mean, look at this religion. There's narrator, sub-narrator, submarine narrator. And then said, somebody other than Amr said, at the rock there was a water spring called Al-Hayat. Here, we have to stop. There's a water spring called the life. And none. Do you see the word none? When I was learning English, I was like saying to myself, what's wrong with this? Like none. They told me that a woman, she surrendered herself to God. They call her none. And then none submit to anyway, okay, so let's let it go. So a none come in touch with the water, but become alive, brother. Deep. That's deep. You touch the water, you don't drink the water. You don't even need to drink it. You touch it. Just touch. Not here. Leave don't touch me. I said touch the water. What's wrong with you? So you touch the water, and right away you will become alive. Hold on. How he touched the water and he's dead? So the dead, he touched the water and he became alive? Hey, dead man, go touch the water. I'm dead, you idiot. I cannot move. So a nun touched the water but became alive. Okay? So some of the water of the spring, look, now here's the details. Now he explained the questions and he getting me busted. Because I said, how the dead one can touch the water? Look, he refuted me. And some of the water that is spring fell over the fish. That's it. There's no excuse not to believe now. It's clear. So some of the water of the spring fell over the fish. So it moved like weak. And they slipped out of the basket. Look at this. And entered the sea. This is what happened to you when you walk next to the fountain of youth. Here we go. You lost your sardine. All right. I mean, and the story continue. You can read the hadith by yourself. It's a long story. And this is again in Sahih al-Bukhari, hadith number 27. All right. So now this is who? This is Moshe. And by the way, one of the comments, he said that Allah, he created this child as a kafir when Al-Khadr slew him, because Allah want to teach Moshe, listen, you idiot, Allah, he created that child like a mice for laboratory to teach. So Allah, he created children so he can put them for us and we kill them so we can learn. What a stupid religion, man. So now this is the story of Moshe and the fountain of youth, as you see. Now, I'm not going to go to Jack Sparrow and discuss how Jack Sparrow, he was very evil trying to get the fountain of youth himself alone. And I'm not going to discuss how greedy they are. And here, Jack Sparrow, you see, Jack Sparrow, he did not reach the fountain of youth by walking. As you see, he is using a boat. But the story of Prophet Moshe, he was walking down the street, until he reached the island of Al-Bahrain. How he crossed the sea, don't ask. Jack Sparrow, he crossed the sea by a boat, as you see, and we have evidence. And here Jack Sparrow, you know, this is, he trying to act like Moshe. He put his head down and he lay down, you know. But all of us, we knew Jack Sparrow, this after he broke his tooth. You know, remember when the guy from the ship, he hit him in his tooth? So he started saying Jack Sparrow. So here Jack Sparrow is running because they are chasing him, because they want to get the ring of the you know, the compass, where you can find the, you know, you know, the thing, you know. So, and then here, look, Jack Sparrow, he's moving his hand, supposedly, he's trying to cross the jungle, but in fact, he is putting his hand in the front of the breast of this woman. And this is exactly why Allah did not mention Jack Sparrow as a prophet, because in Islam, it is haram to put your hand over next to the breast. You have to hold them. You cannot just put it in the front to hide them. You have to hold them, and you have to suckle them. It's halal. So, Jack Sparrow, obviously, is not a prophet. I mean, if you are confused about it, I'm making it clear for you now. All right? Now, going back to the story in the tafsir, we find that the fountain of youth is not only something mentioned about Moshe and Al-Khudr. We find that the fountain of youth have to do with Zul-qarnain, the man with the two horns, Alexander the Great. If we go down here, let's see if we can. I mean, I don't like this website, how they design it. Like they make it like a script inside a script. Let me see if I can open it in different website. Hold on, let us see. Okay. I will try to find it in different websites so we can open it better. We found it in Google Books. We don't want Google Books because we cannot use Google Translation. All right, we found different website here. Let us see this one. Hold on, give me a second. Let me give you the link. You know, I will give you the link for the reference. So you can see what we are talking about. And you can use Google Translation from your side. This is other website other than the one I'm showing you in the screen. So now let us go there. All right, so now we are opening the new website. All right, so here it says they are asking you about Zul-qarnain. This is a chapter 18, verse number 83. You're right. And then here we will see some explanation about this person. It says here that some of the people of the book, and obviously they are Jews, they ask Muhammad about a man who going all around the earth. And then Muhammad, he says, I know nothing about him. Muhammad, he said, I know nothing about him. Let me open the website, using Google Translation so we can read together. So reported that a Jewish said to the Prophet, oh Muhammad, let us go first. No, not here. Anyway, you can read this part. Oh Muhammad, do you remember Abraham and Moses and you learn about them from us? Imagine the Arabic says, and you learn about them from us. All right, Abraham, Moses, Jesus, the prophet. You heard of them mentioned from us. Do you see it? Muhammad, he never knew about them from us. Muhammad, he did not say to him, no, I did not hear about them from you, I heard from Allah. He kept mute. So tell us about the prophet of God that mentioned in the Torah except in one place. Muhammad, he said, the Jewish guy, he said, who is he? Sorry, Muhammad, he said, who is he? Who is he? They said, Zul-qarnain. He said, I have not heard anything about him. Do you see it? Until this moment, Muhammad, he is confirming that he heard nothing about him, and actually all the messengers before, the Jewish mentioned their names, and according to the story here, they mention Abraham, Moses, Jesus. He heard about them too from the Jews. And now they are saying to him, tell us about Zul-qarnain. He is mentioned in the Torah, and obviously the Jew is getting Muhammad busted, because there's nowhere, you know, there's a prophet of God, his name is the man with the two horns in the Torah. So obviously here the Jew is trying to see how stupid Muhammad is, and he was successful. So he said, I know nothing about him, I learned nothing about him. And then they went out happy because Muhammad, he could not answer. All right? But when they are leaving, brother, before you leave they leave the door, Jibreel, he come down from the ceiling and he told Muhammad the answer about Zul-qarnain. He told him, I will tell you a remembrance of Zul-qarnain. Oops, Muhammad, he fall into the trap. Muhammad, he fall into the trap. And then here Muhammad, he continue telling the story about Zul-qarnain. And there is a hadith actually which is very funny, where Muhammad, he said, I am not sure if Zul-qarnain even was a prophet or not. And here you ask yourself, what kind of a prophet he do not know if other prophet is a prophet or not? I mean, why he is so ignorant about the topic? How come he do not know? So the story continue. Let me see if I can find this hadith in English. Anyway, in here it says that Muhammad, he says, I'm not aware if he was a prophet or not, in the translation in English in this website. So anyway, the story continue. And now Muhammad is trying to get more details into us, because supposedly the one who taught him now this is Allah. So this is a very confirmed the information to him by Allah himself. If we go down, and this is where I want to go with you, let us see. Where we will, because the the text is so long, and all of it is really stupid stories. Okay. Yeah, it says here down. Let me see if I can find it without reading the whole thing. I will search for the word horn. All right. So he have two horns. Okay. Zul-qarnain, he have two horns. Let us see if we are in the right place. Read carefully. When they asked him, they said, was he a prophet or a king? He said, was neither a prophet or nor a king, but he was a righteous servant of Allah. Okay? And Allah loved him. Which is very weird. He is a righteous servant of Allah, and Allah loved him. Well, why Allah loved him? Let us see. And Allah advised him, so Allah spoke to him too. Now here, those hadith, they are like many contradict each other about if he is a prophet or not. Some they say he's a prophet, some they say he's not. As we showed even before, it said he is not sure if he was a prophet or not. So Muhammad, you don't know. Anyway, God sent him to his people. He died. And then God, he revived him for their jihad, to go against them. Then he sent him to his people again, and they beat him again. And then another horn came from his head after he died. So here they explain to you why Alexander the Great, he have two horns, why he's called Zul-qarnain. Because simply, he went to his people twice, asking them to convert to Islam. Each time he speak to them, they hit him with the hammer in his head, and he have a horn. He died. But there is a pimple coming from his head. This is the horn. And then after that, he start putting a hamama, which is just, you see the sheikhs, they put in the top of their head to cover the two horn, because he looked like an ant or looked like an insect. Unbelievable story. And then Allah, he bring him back to life. Alhamdulillah. The story here continue. Let us see where we will arrive. Let us see. Oh boy. I wish you guys you read Arabic, because that will save you from all the hassle and this like translation. Okay. Let us search for the word green to save from reading all of this. Green. Look like translation is different. Let us see. Search for the word water. Okay. Here we arrive to the story of Al-Khadr. So you will see that this man, and the Muslim, they try to deny that he is Alexander the Great. They keep saying to us he is not Alexander the Great. Here you will see that he built the city, it's called Alexandria. He built the city, it's called Alexandria. And when he was, after he built Alexandria, as we see here in Arabic, you can search in the Google translation, so you can find where it says that for you, your side. It says here, he came to the seashore of Egypt, and he built a city, it's called Alexandria. And then when he built it, Allah, he sent him an angel. Allah, he sent him an angel. And this angel took him to the sky. Alexander the Great, Allah took him to the sky. And then Allah told him, do you see what is down below? Do you see what is down below? Isn't it amazing to know that Allah, he took Alexander the Great to the sky? He said, look down. And then he says, I see my city, and I see other cities with it. Then he took him up, and then he could not recognize the cities because they became so far, maybe. And then he saw, I see only my city, and I don't see anything else. And then the angel, he says to him, all this land is, you see, Allah, he gave you the authority to rule it. That's it. So go in it until you arrive where the sun set. I don't know what to say. So Allah, He sent His angel and He took him up to the sky and He told him, keep going. This is all your land. You keep going until you arrive where the sun set. And then he woke until he found where the sun set, and he found where, and keep walking until you find where the sun rise too, as it says here. All right. Then he arrived to a people, and he found people who have faces, their faces like face of dogs. They have actually not like wujuhu kilab. Their faces is face of dogs. So they are not a human, as I explained to you before. Their faces, if we go here in the, if you search in your page, if you translate Google translation, you can search for the word dog. All right. So after Allah, He took him up to the heaven, and He showed him all the land which he is going to, to own or to control. And He told him, keep going until you arrive where the sun set, the place of the sun setting, and the place where the sun rising. And then you find two mountains where you were going to build a dam, or suppose this he will build the dam in the story. And then he keep going until he found across to Gog and Magog, and he found people who their faces were dogs' faces. They are dogs. Okay. But now we will find something different. You see, all the story until now, we did not see anything yet about the fountain of youth. I mean, where is the fountain of youth? Suddenly, you will notice in the middle of nowhere that Al-Khadr appear in the story. Remember, we are talking about a person who does not exist in the time of Moses. Remember, the story in the Quran is speaking about Moses meeting Al-Khadr, right? But now we will find that Al-Khadr, he appear again in the story of Zul-qarnain. So if you go here, you will see that Zul-qarnain, he used to go around, and then one day he stood upon a mountain. It's called the mountain of Adam. And then he found a guy, his name is Al-Khadr. In that mountain. I don't know if we have any Muslims here are listening, because I found that this is kind of astonishing, stupid story. The Khadr, he said to him, and Khadr, he was a person who been given knowledge and wisdom and understanding. Hey king, do you see that paper which is hiding from the palm tree? He said yes. He said, this is where is going to teach you about the location. What location? What is that? Maybe later we will understand more. And then he says to him, and Al-Khadr was reading from a book. So Allah, he gave him a book. Remember, this is not Al-Khadr knowledge. This is a person who Allah gave him a knowledge. He said to him, I see a book. It's written in it, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. هذا كتاب من آدم أبي البشر أوصيكم ذريتي وبناتي. So in the name of Allah, Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim, this is a book written by Adam, the father of the human. I give you my will to take care of my children and my daughters, and to be careful from my enemy and your enemy, which is Iblis, which means Shaitan. He is the reason to send me down from the Firdaus, which is supposedly the garden of Adam and Eve, to the land of the earth. And I sent down in this location. So this is where the palm tree was located. Allah, He dumped Adam there. And He said, like in this location, the one who look at it, he will find that I have 200 years of sin by one look, which is very hard to understand, you know. So I've been sent there, and I was, let us say, he was cursed by Allah, and He dumped him in that location, and he was, if you look at that location, you will find that 200, maybe 200 like jail, like Allah, He put him there for 200 years because of one sin. And then He says He studied the earth, and He studied the trees, and He said, and I did water this land from the tears of my ears. So repent to Allah. Okay. Now here, the story is over. Zul-qarnain, he read for him what he have in his book. And then Zul-qarnain, he said, or he wiped the place where Adam used to sit. And when he did that, he found that it is 180 miles. And he counted the trees in that location. He found them 900 trees. From every tear of Adam, there was like a tree coming. And then when Cain and Abel, they killed each other, or they killed one of the brother, killed the other brother, those tears became a land. And this land cry blood. I don't know how many Muslims are listening. Muslims, what is the distance between Alexander the Great as date, as time, and between Moses? This guy Al-Khadr, he exists everywhere. Al-Khadr, he is with Noah. Al-Khadr, he is with Alexander the Great. Al-Khadr, he is with Moses. And actually there's some reports saying that even he was in the funeral of Muhammad. Even there's a hadith says that when when Muhammad was talking to a bunch of people, somebody came in, and when he left, he says to them, "This is Alexander the Great." This is Al-Khadr. And you know, the Muslim, they can say this is weak and this is strong, but as you see, all of this is written in their books. All of those things exist in their books. And if we continue reading, you will die laughing, because the stories can get even more complicated. Here you see even the Muslims struggling, trying to find out why he was called Zul-qarnain. As an example, he says the reason he was called Zul-qarnain, because he gathered the two horns of the sun set and the sunrise. Here it says the reason he was called Zul-qarnain, because he arrived to the horn of the sun. Now you might be wondering what the horn of the sun. Muhammad himself, he confirmed that the sun has a horn. And actually Muhammad, he confirmed that Satan, he come from between the two horns of Shaitan. And maybe I have to stop here, because that video will go forever if we want to read the whole thing. And maybe we can continue later. So if we read here, let us see. As you see, Muhammad is beyond recognition of science. Muhammad is the biggest scientist. So Muhammad, he believed that Shaitan, he have horn. And the same Muhammad believed that Zul-qarnain have a horn, two horns. Shaitan has two horns, Zul-qarnain have two horns. As you see. And Muhammad, he said something very funny. I don't know why the Muslim did not translate it here. See, translation is gone. He said, don't pray when the sun rises, and don't pray when the sun set. Okay, why? Let me see if I can find it in different translation, a different hadith. All right, here we go. We found it in different one. Why? Read carefully. Aisha, may Allah pleased with her, said, Umar, may Allah pleased with him, said, it's not correct, rather the message of Allah only forbid. He said, don't seek a prayer when the sun is rising or when the sun is setting, for it is the rise between the horn of shaitan. So when Zul-qarnain he arrived where the sun set, and he arrived where the sun rise, he arrived to the two horn of shaitan, because the sunrise from between the two horn of shaitan, and the sunrise from between, or set from between the two horn, or between the two horn of Satan. And here we find this kind of very, not only stupid, there's a contradiction, because if the sun is sitting between the two horn of shaitan, and because of that I should not pray to Allah at that moment. What this have to do with Allah prayer? And you know what I mean? I mean, let us say for the sake of argument, okay, this is a story reporting a true event. There's a shaitan. Let us draw Mr. Shaitan. He have two horn. This is Mr. Shaitan. And now the sun is sitting between his two horn. Let us make the sun with a green color so it can appear, or red. So the sun now is going down between the two horn of shaitan. Why the Muslim cannot pray to Allah? What is the connection? What is the reason? What is going to happen if we pray to Allah while the sun is sitting between the two horn of shaitan? Any Muslim can tell us? There's any Muslim can help us? Who is a Muslim have an answer for this? The sun now is sitting between the two horn of shaitan. And by the way, this is what NASA found, right? So why I cannot pray at that moment? What will happen? Any Muhammadan? Is that just a stupid superstition stuff and crazy stuff? Fiction? People believe in it? Or this is a true thing? Was Muhammad informed by Allah that there is something dangerous will happen to the Muslims if they pray at that moment where the sun is sitting between the two horn of shaitan, or when the sun is rising from between the two horn of shaitan? Any Muhammadan? You know, I wish I can finish all the reading, but as you see, this is very long, and that will take me really for long to finish it. And I'm trying to make my videos shorter. But as you see, the fountain of youth exists in the time of Muhammad, in the time of Al-Qadr. And later we will find it exists in the time of Zul-qarnain. And we will find that Zul-qarnain, he went all the way trying to find the fountain. And we find that Zul-qarnain and Moses and Al-Khadr, they make like a three comedian who they make a kind of a fiction story. And this fiction story is endless. And the Muslims, when they say that, you know, I mean, when a Muslim sheikh, he come to us with these stories, the question is where he got these stories from. And by the way, this exists even in the book of Ibn Kathir, and exists in many, many books. But let me, before we finish, maybe we can go to the part where he speaks about the fountain of youth. Let us see. Let us go back to the page. At least we can complete the topic, you know. Let us see. Tons of fiction stories, stupid stories, none of them make sense. But why I'm not surprised? Very normal. This is what Islam is about. Let us see. All right. Here we find the part where they are talking about the fountain of youth. Let us clean the screen from the drawing. And then we go to the Google translation. Just give me a second. So if you have the page on your side and you click at Google translation, you can search for this word, closes. You see it? And then you will find the part, because as you see, it's not a page, it's almost like the whole book is there. So the story is saying that they arrive to a water well or a spring of water. Let us see here. Al-Khudr, before, he said to him, I mean, you can go read before from the beginning, actually a little bit more. You will see talking about how many soldiers he have, you know, that Zul-qarnain, in each place he go, he stay for 12 years. You see, each time he arrived to a place, he stay in that place for 12 years until he arrived where the sun set, and then he camped and he gathered his soldiers, and then it says the soldiers, they said to him, and the scholars, his scholars, they told him, you know, we are afraid of this darkness, like the bath you are taking. And we seek you not to go in the path where nobody went before, the path of darkness. Don't take us there. Don't take us in the path of Adam. Blah 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 blah. You know. And then they keep talking about it here, and then the story continue. And then he keep walking, and then he saw a lot of females. He saw horses, and they told him there's horses. He looked, he says, where is the horses? He says, females. He said, what females? He said, the virgins. So he chose 6,000 of female virgin horse. And then he chose from his soldiers 6,000. I mean, I know, like, when you are reading this, nothing makes sense, right? But I mean, this is what it is, what we can do. Like, sometimes people, they say to me, I mean, your translation is really confusing. My friend, it's not my translation confusing you. The story is confusing. The story is stupid. What can I do? So if I say to you, 6,000 virgin female horse. You will say virgin female horse. You might think I'm making a mistake, but this is what it is. What I would do. And then he chose 6,000 of his men, and then he made the Al-Khudr a leader of 2,000 of them. Okay? But in the translation, for some reason, the word Al-Khudr is not coming, you know? So, here we go, it says actually. And he gave Al-Khudr the command of 2,000 horsemen. Alright, so Al-Khudr now became a leader in the army of Zul-qarnain. And while Al-Khudr, he was walking, Zul-qarnain came to him from his house, and Zul-qarnain he went down to the house of Al-Khudr. And while the Khudr, he was walking in darkness. I mean, look at the connection. How he is in the house, and now he is walking in the darkness. Don't ask me. So he was walking in darkness, and the people, they went away from him, and then he throws some like a dice, made from like a ruby, something like this. He threw it, and it fell in the edge of water spring. See the translation, he says I, because in Arabic it says Ain. So it fell in the edge of a water spring. All right? And that is supposedly where we go to the point where he got to the place of the fountain. So obviously Al-Khudr, he went there, or he was there for a reason. He want to give wisdom, advice to Zul-qarnain. And somehow you will find here that Zul-qarnain is Allah. And actually I will make a short video to prove to you that Zul-qarnain is Allah. I know that Muslims will go crazy, will say this is not true. Even the Quran says he is our servant. But you will see how we prove it easy, that obviously Zul-qarnain is Allah himself, based on the story which Muhammad he said. So the story continue. Actually, if we go and read in different books, there's many books speaking about those things, which all of them is funny and stupid, even more stupid than those stories here. We will find, let me see if I can find you something else. Hold on. Yeah, here actually we see more details. Let's see, hold on. See, here there's a part is not mentioned in this page, is not appearing. I'm not sure why. Maybe it's there, but I did not see it. Yeah, maybe Al-Suyuti, he took it off. It says here that when he arrived, when he threw the ruby or that thing in his hand, and he arrived to the edge of that fountain, when Al-Khudr, he said to him, you are seeking a bath of darkness, and this bath many of us cannot see. So what you will do with the darkness, which means how you can walk through it. If we let us say we walk and we don't see our way, etc. And then Al-Khudr, he gave Zul-qarnain a red ruby, and he said to him, if you arrive to the darkness, throw this ruby in the ground. If this ruby, or if the ground is green, then those who they are in the darkness, they have to come back. So Zul-qarnain, he took it and he went. All right, he took the ruby. And Al-Khudr, he noticed what Zul-qarnain he want. What he want? He want the fountain of youth. And Zul-qarnain, he is hiding, you know, what he in his heart he want. He did not tell Al-Khudr that I am seeking to find the fountain of youth. So he keep walking, and then he thought that the fountain of youth, let me use Google translation. I will post this link for you, so you can open it from your side too. Give me a second. You see, Islamic, you know, when we talk about Islamic reference, you will find that Islamic reference is a messed up reference. It's thousands and thousands of stories, and the more you learn about them, the more you die laughing. Let me give you the link here. You can open the same link, and you can click at Google Translation, as you see, and then you can read with me what I am reading. All right. Let us see. Yeah. So Zul-qarnain, in the time of Al-Khudr, he is trying to find where is the fountain of youth. And actually, even if you go in the title, if you translate, let us see if we translate the whole thing. Click at the side of the page, translate to English. You'll find the title saying, read with me carefully, the story of Zul-qarnain and his request for the eye of life in the darkness. So here you get the whole story, what this report is about. Zul-qarnain, he wanted to find the fountain of youth. Zul-qarnain, all his trip, all his mission, all his fight, all his wars, Alexander the Great, for one simple reason. He wanted to find the fountain of youth. I will let you read it all. I mean, this is endless, as you see. You can search, you can do your own study, you can make notes. Sadly, most of you do not know Arabic, but those who know Arabic, they will enjoy it more because they can read the original text. But as you see, this is the most stupid cult ever come to existence. It's not only it's a collection of fairy tales of the old or the ancient, but it is stupid fairy tales. And suddenly the stupid fairy tales became part of a book, it's called Quran. And suddenly the fairy tales of the ancient, which is a fairy tale for the kids, became a book of God, and became God talking and God teaching. And then there's billions of people that believe in such a stupid story. So here you will see that they are discussing how Zul-qarnain that the scholars of the people, the Muslim scholars who study the books, trace back how Zul-qarnain was working hard trying to find the eye of life, which means the spring of, you know, in Arabic the word ayn is eye, but when you put eye water next to it, it make it eye of water, which means spring of water. So Zul-qarnain trying his best to find it. Zul-qarnain, when he lived forever, Al-Khudr, he was there for a reason. And obviously Al-Khudr, he don't want him to find it in some stories. Like Al-Khudr, he want to keep the eye of the fountain of youth only for himself, for his own use, so he can stay alive forever. Obviously, Al-Khudr, he is against anyone to find this fountain. He don't want Zul-qarnain to find it, because that will make him alive. And this is how the Muslims explain how and why Zul-qarnain is not alive forever, but Al-Khudr, he is alive forever. So I will stop here because the story is endless, as you see, but just I wanted to share with you things, we don't mention always. And the difficulty part of this thing, of those stupid stories, is the English translating to your language. But thanks to Google translation, maybe you will not get the perfect translation, but you get the idea. And the idea is very simple. Islam is a superstition, stupid cult. Everything about it is nothing but superstition. By a man, he claimed to be a prophet of God. But ask yourself, can really a prophet of God who spoke to his God, or his God he inspire him, he come with such stories? And if the Muslim, they will say to you, oh, those stories are not in the Quran. My friend, they are in the Quran. As you see, this is Zul-qarnain in the Quran. He found where the sun set, he found where the sun rise. So when those scholars, they are coming to you with the stories, and most of it is coming either from your prophet or from his companions. And speaking about this person, he arrived, entered, he found where the sun set and where the sun rise. That is in the Quran. And then the Muslims, in order to avoid the disaster and the stupidity of the Quran, they say, oh, he did not really say, the verse does not say he found where the sun set. No, he did not say that the sun set in murky water. This is how it appeared to him. Anyone see the word appear to him? Anyone see the word he thought? It is Allah who is talking. The Jews, they asked the man, tell us, they asked Muhammad, tell us about Zul-qarnain. Muhammad, he said, and we show you the interpretation, saying, I know nothing about him. Then Jibreel came to him right away. And Muhammad, and by the way, some story says it took him a few weeks, so the story of right away is very funny. So Jibreel told him, and now Allah is talking. Allah is the one mentioning here, says, until he came to the rising place of the sun. Where is the rising place of the sun? The sun rises everywhere. You do not need to go anywhere to find the rising place of the sun. That is stupid to say. So when they try to explain, they try to say to you, oh, this is how it looked like. He saw it rising, but it's not really. But hold on. It says, until he came to the rising place of the sun. So here there's two things. There's timing and there's location. And he found it rising on a people. He found people near it. And then if you continue, you will find that this guy, he continue before it actually, where he found where the sun sitting. Until when he reached the sitting place of the sun, it's a place he reached. What happened there? The sunset. He found it. It's Allah is not saying he thought. You see, Allah is reporting the story. He found it. He reported a find. Not he thought. And the funny, the Muslim, they say to us, the Quran is an amazing language. So can't Allah he use, instead of he found, he thought? Is Allah like, is your God Allah stupid? If you want to say he thought, he will say he thought. He did not say he thought, he says he found it. And even the City Muhammad himself, he confirmed that the sun set in a murky water. Was Muhammad unaware and he have wrong understanding of the verse too? And you Muslims, you have better understanding? Isn't it this is your prophet saying that? And here I need to ask a very simple question. Is that the same water where the fountain of youth is? You see, all this video is to come to an end. Remember, the Quran speaks about where the sun set. It said what? You see, the Muslims, when they try to fabricate answer, they say, oh, it's like when you see the sea, when the sun set in the sea, the guy he thought it is the sea where it goes inside. It says here spring, spring, spring. The sea is not a spring. It's so clear. The sea is not a spring of water. And if you Muslim, you claim that Allah, he speak perfect Arabic as you claim, then Allah, he uses stupid language to say spring of water if it is a sea. Because a spring of water is something small. It's a spring of water. All of us, we know it's spring of water. So here the sun set in the spring of water. The spring of water is where the fountain of youth. The spring of water is where Al-Khadr in the story we showed you is seeking to find. Are you seeing the connection we are trying to do? The reference we showed you from Tafsir al-Suyuti and other tafsir, as we saw here. This tafsir here is to lead us to one thing, that Zul-qarnain was trying to seek an eye of water, a spring of water. Zul-qarnain, he arrived to the eye of water, and the Quran confirmed that, and he found there the sun sitting there. Al-Khadr, he drank from the fountain of water, and he did live forever because he drank from the fountain of water. Al-Khadr, he gave him a ruby, and he said when you arrive at the darkness, Al-Khadr, he don't want him to keep walking to find the fountain, or let us say he found it, but he did not dare to continue walking because it became so dark. So he gave him a ruby. He says to him, when you arrive to the darkness, throw it in the ground, and if the ground scream or something like that, you back up, you go back. So all the stories lead us to one thing. This is a cartoon. This cannot be from God. And when the Muslims try to defend their cult by saying all kind of fiction stories, that the Quran never say the sun set in murky water. Actually, if you search right now in Google, in YouTube, sorry, you will see how many Muslims volunteer, doing their best, trying to fix the stupidity of the Quran. Let us see. This is an old video.
The other points that William Campbell raised was regarding Surah Kahf, chapter number 18, verse number 86, that Zul-qarnain sees the sun setting in murky water, in turbid water. Imagine sun setting in murky water, unscientific.
Imagine.
The Arabic word used here is, it is wajada, meaning it appeared to Zul-qarnain. William Campbell knows Arabic.
See, this guy, he don't speak Arabic, by the way. He became expert in Arabic. The word there in Arabic, wajada, wajada, it means appear. The word wajada, we can go right now to the dictionary. The word wajada means he found, and even actually the Islamic translation, not even one of them says it appear. It says he found it. So this is the stupid Zakir Naik. They ask him how in the word it says he found it. He says found it. That doesn't say found it. It says wajadaha. Wajadaha means it appeared to him. But all of you, you can go right now to the verse, and you can copy the word. This is the word wajadaha. And you can take it to Google Translation. Actually, you know what? I can do this in front of you. I can use Google Translation in front of your eyes to the same page without even copying anything. You know? Like, you open the page here with Google browser, and we have the original translation in English in the right side, and the Arabic. So what we do, we click here, translate to English, and then this verse, verse number 86, will be translated. Let us see what Google translation will be. Is it going to say it appear, or it says going to be founded? But we do not even need to do so. It says here, even he found it sitting in a spring of black water. So how in the word he found it became, according to Zakir Naik, it appeared to? Do you see how dummy, how stupid, how desperate their answers are? And this is what happened when a person, he defend Islam. Whatever he say, nobody oppose. If it is me who said the word wajadaha mean appear, you will see a Muslim making tons of thousands of videos saying Christian Prince is lying. But as long as Zakir Naik is the one lying, and the lie purpose is to defend Islam, it's okay.
Murky water, in turbid water. Imagine sun setting in murky water, unscientific. The Arabic word used here is, it is wajada, meaning it appeared to Zul-qarnain.
Meaning, the word wajada, meaning. And with this, I want to say thank you guys for being here. I hope that you found where the sun set today. And I hope that you guys, you get some more clue about where to find the fountain of youth. So all of you, you can grow young again. And you can be very handsome, good looking, like me, alhamdulillah. And you can be young like me, alhamdulillah. And, you know, I wish I can share with you some of the water of Zul-qarnain, the fountain of youth. But you know what? I made an agreement with the director of Jack Sparrow movie that I will not tell any information about the location where we did our movie. So, because they will sue me, honestly. I mean, we have a contract. I can show it to you. They made me sign a contract that I will never, not only me, by the way, all those who work in the movie of Jack Sparrow, the Pirate of the Caribbean, we sign an acknowledgement that in no way we will tell anyone where the fountain of youth is, especially women. I mean, no way. I mean, like, your mother-in-law now, she is 90, and soon she might go. And now she go drink the fountain of youth, and now she is 16 again. Good luck with that. So they made a sign says specifically, you don't tell women. Specifically. Okay? And because, you know, like, there's a lot of women here. Sorry, I cannot share. You know, I mean, if you are just men, I mean, we can share with you that. You know, and by the way, ZakirNaiks, as long as you know the meaning of the verse and you know Arabic. Do you speak Arabic? And as long as you know Arabic very well, you idiot. Was your prophet an idiot himself? He did not know where the sun set. He did not. How come your prophet? He did not say. He found it. He thought. He said it's set in a spring of warm water. Even your prophet, the prophet of the Abdul, the biggest Abdul, Abdul number 1 in the world. So my friends, thank you very much for being here. And I know now many women, they will be upset from me because I'm not going to tell you where's the water. Please forgive me. I made a promise. And however, if you are a woman who knows how to make baklava, we can discuss different conditions. You know, like if we make an agreement, you supply me with baklava for the rest of my life, every day, huh? Then I might think about telling you, you know, to get like maybe like little tiny, maybe few drops of water will make you like maybe 40, 45, 50 years younger, you know. But you have to sign, like we have to go to the lawyer and, you know, appear before the judge, you know, Judge Huri Buter. And, you know, you hold the ring of the, you know, even the Lord of the Ring is in the Quran and in the Hadith. Go and read the stories about the Lord, the Ring of Solomon. You would die laughing. Actually, I say to you that number 1 stupid chapter in the Quran, which nobody can beat it, is chapter 18. Flying carpet of Sulaiman, you know, Sulaiman, I mean, crazy stuff. Not only about Al-Khadr, the 7 sleepers, you know, you name it. You know? Look at this story. Look how beautiful it is. You know, look at this, look. This is the most funny stories ever. Chapter 27 and chapter 18 are the ones who they are really very, very funny and very stupid. And actually here, just to show you one thing here, the stupidity. In chapter 18, there's a verse which I find very amusing. They ask Muhammad, those who they are, the Christian they speak about, those who they've been chased by an infidel king, they want to kill them because they became Christians. How many they are? How many? I mean, very simple question. He's not asking them science. How many they were? So Muhammad now, he don't know really what he is going to answer. He don't dare to say anything. So look what he said. He said, Allah told me the following. Some, they say they were 3 and their dog is number 4. And some, they say they are 5 and their dog is number 6. Guessing the unseen. Yet others, they say they were 7 and their dog is number 8. Okay, now Allah will give you the answer. Oh Muhammad, say, Only Allah knows their true number. What the heck? So what the purpose of this verse? They're asking you how many they are. So the coward Muhammad, he is afraid to say the number and then he will get wrong. They will get him busted. So some they say they are 3 and their dog is number 4. Some they say they are 5 and their dog is number 6. Some they say they are 6 and their dog is number 7. Some they say they are 7 and their dog is number 8. And then the answer is, okay, Muhammad, tell them Allah knows best. And not only that, he says, only Allah knows their numbers, and then none knows them but few. Like, what the heck? So what is the number? I mean, what is this complication always about? Just tell them the number. He don't know. He's afraid to tell them the number. People will laugh at him. The story name you eat it's called the 7 sleepers. I mean, isn't it obvious what is the story? What is the number? It's called the story, the name of the book, the 7 sleepers. And Muhammad is still, he don't dare to give the answer. And as long there's a few people they knew, okay, tell us what the numbers. Because already it's not a secret. I mean, what is the big deal? Are we going to tell us about nukes? Is that like you will unveil the location of the fountain of youth? Tell us, then even this one, Muhammad, he can't answer. And here you see a mistake in the Arabic. He says that some they say they are 3 and their dog is number 4. Have you ever heard in any language somebody says 3 and their dog is number 4? Actually, it doesn't say number 4. وَرَابِعَهُمْ, and the fourth is the dog. You don't say the 4th is a dog. He is not a human. You say 3 and 1 dog. In no language you say such a thing. This is stupid. Muhammad, he considered the dog is a human. The fact, even the word here, kalbahum, is false written in Arabic. The original word is kali'ahum. Kali'ahum. In the story which is written by an Aramaic Syrian bishop, I believe his name is Yaqub. In this story, it says that it's a fiction story. It's about a group of guys who run away from a king just because they became Christians, and they hide for their life in a cave. And then God, he sent an angel, and that angel was kali'ahum, not kalbahum. So the stupid Muhammad, instead of getting the word kali'ahum, he said kalbahum. Either Muhammad was the fool or the one who wrote the Quran from Muhammad. He got it wrong because of maybe the way it's written close to each other. Kali'ahum simply is the one who provided them. This is why you see that this, according to the verse here in the Quran, this dog, he opened his 2 arms. Have you ever heard of a dog have 2 arms? Since when? Dogs have 4 legs. Muslims. So the original story is speaking about an angel who covered the gate of the cave. This is in chapter 18, verse number 18. Who covered the gate, the cave, by his wings. He opened his arms. So he opened his arms, not the dog stretching his 4 leg, whatever. And by the way, how the translation come to the 4th, his 4 legs? How in the word? In Arabic it says, "Basitun dhira'ayhi." He opened his 2 arms. So the original story in the Aramaic, it says that this angel, Kali'ahum, their provider, he give them food, he protect them. So God, he sent this angel to protect them. This is why the army could not get close. I mean, have you ever heard of a king send an army to kill a bunch of guys, and then because they saw a dog in the cave door, they run away? I mean, how stupid the story can be. Imagine that Trump, he sent the CIA to capture Osama bin Laden or ISIS leader, Caliphate. And then they saw a dog, and then the special American force, they went back home and they could not capture or kill ISIS leader because there was a dog in the cave door. Who in the world would believe in such a thing? Even, by the way, even in the Islamic interpretation, many they believe that the original word is kali'ahum, not kalbahum, which means it is an angel. Maybe we can make a video about it. We should. Let us see, hold on. And the funny, even Muslims, by the way, acknowledge that there must be an error in the Quranic text. Let's see, hold on. Anyway, I can make a video about it. See, I said half hour ago I have to go, and I said to you, bye-bye everybody. I believe, can you believe it? That's why I don't want to go live no more. I will make short videos and post them, because the short video we are talking about already now is 1 hour 32 minutes. Do you see how short it is? It's very short. So I want to say thank you guys for being here, and I really appreciate having you. I hope when we go live, if you like me to keep coming live, you invite more people and you share the links, and more people they join us, so more Muslims will leave Islam. In the same time, I will start posting short videos, but I will mostly post them in the Arabian Prophet account. In the Arabian Prophet account. The reason I noticed that YouTube took almost 20 to 30,000 subscribers from my account because I did not use it for a while. And here I wonder how in the world they do that. So the account, I think it was almost 100,000 subscribers, and now maybe it is 70 something, So I'm going to start posting the short videos in the Arabian Prophet. Maybe the admin can post for you the Arabian Prophet account, and you can subscribe there. And I will make a video to tell you that I'm going to post short videos there, so we can keep that account alive. This is what YouTube does. I mean, even when I go, before I leave the live streaming, it says to me, as an example, current view is 10,000. But after we close, you will find it says 6,000. See? There is something always fishy with this YouTube thing, current view now is 1,000, sorry. And then it says the total playback is 8,165. So it should appear 8,165. Let us see when I'm done. Check and see what the number will be. And then you will find it's like 6,000 or maybe 5. So how the 8,000 switched to 5,000 or 6,000? People subscribe and then they come again, they found themselves unsubscribe. And obviously they did something to my other account, the Arabian Prophet, from more than 100,000. Now I have, I think, last time I looked, it was maybe 70 something. I forgot how many. So we will start posting in the Arabian Prophet account short videos. And please subscribe to that channel, so you can join us in the short videos. And then maybe I will go live in this one. So still we will use both, all right? We will see. Anyway, I want to say thank you guys for being here. And I hope all of you found the location of the Fountain of Youth, even though I was trying my best to hide my GPS. So none of you will find where is the location of the Fountain of Youth, because I live very close to it. And actually all my neighbors are very young, especially the ladies of my neighbors. I give them water from the Fountain of Youth in exchange of an agreement. They cook for me and they make salad. One she makes salad, one she clean the house, one she clean my car, and the other one she go and do shopping for me and the other one, she washed dishes in exchange of giving them some water from the fountain of youth. And for sure, those ladies are very happy, because finally they do not need to use makeup. They are so good looking now, and they feel so young for real, you know. And their husband, this is the only problem, their husband looks so old compared to them. And now they are thinking of divorcing those husbands because they don't match. I mean, come on. You marry your husband 40 years ago, and now he's maybe 60 years old. And now, like, look what? You know, you are 17 years old. Like, come on, you are not going to stay with somebody who's 16. Hello? Yeah, you know. And I told them, why you don't give a drop of water to your husband? They said, no way. We need a new husband. Enough is enough. So anyway, they are free to do things. You know, they have their own way of thinking. Allah gave a freedom for the women, brother. Allah protect women freedom, women rights. Islam provide women rights. Yeah, and one of their rights, favorite rights, is Allah will allow the Muslim men to beat them. This is the right for you to be beaten by a man. Very wonderful. Alhamdulillah. Thank you very much. May the Lord bless you all, and I will see you soon again, maybe tomorrow. Christ is Lord. Islam made by a dummy for the dummy. Look for the fountain of youth, and when you find it, let me know. Take care.